are you, folks? Jason Horowitz, glad to be with you on the Toyota College Football Preview Show each and every week, breaking down the most important games, and each game an individual segment here on CBSSports.com. We're talking about a game with a lot of intrigue, and that's Notre Dame hosting Georgia Tech. And for more, we bring in Spencer Tillman, joining us from Houston, as he will all season long. And Spencer, Notre Dame head coach Charlie Weis says he knows who his starting quarterback is. He just won't let anybody else know. He's deciding between three guys who have a combined 2 collegiate pass attempts. Now, here's the question, though. Whichever guy it is, will he be able to do anything against this Georgia Tech defense?
Well, Jon Tenuta, the defensive coordinator for Georgia Tech, is one of the best in the business, and it's going to be tough. I suspect it's going to be Jimmy Clausen who'll be at the helm for the Golden Domers, but at the end of the day, he's going to see a tremendous amount of pressure, and that's what you would do with any of these quarterbacks. As you pointed out off camera, you've got these guys 2 completions between the trio. That's not very much experience.
Let me ask you this, Spencer, real quickly from a coaching standpoint. Does it matter that he has not named his starting quarterback to the public?
Well, you know what? I think it does matter. It matters because as you manage the players, he may be saying one thing to them, but I think there's this public perception of maybe not being able to make a solid decision. And everybody knows that he's a good coach, but I'm not so sure I've ever seen a 3-headed quarterback scenario work. I think Bob Stoops worked it a little bit last year, but that was out of necessity with Rhett Bomar's situation just prior to the season coming along, and Paul Thompson stepped right in. But he did this year, Bob Stoops, have 3 guys vying for the quarterback position, and it worked out well for him. But you noticed he decided who his quarterback was going to be about a week and a half ago. So Charlie Weis a little bit unconventional in this regard. Yeah,
I agree with you, Spencer. When you have more than one quarterback, I like the saying, you don't really have a quarterback. So I completely agree with you. As for Notre Dame's defense, Spence, last season it wasn't very good at anything. They couldn't stop the run. They couldn't stop the pass. They don't have to see Calvin Johnson for the Yellow Jackets, but they do see last year's ACC's leading rusher. That's Tashard Choice. Is he the focus of the offense?
Well, he has to be the focus of the offense. Anytime you lose a player of the caliber of Calvin Johnson, everybody thought he was the best player coming out of the NFL draft, and I certainly agree with that. You've got to make some adjustments. And teams are going to bring one extra guy down by the line of scrimmage, so you're going to have 8 and 9 men front, so Tashard Choice is going to have to deal with that, but I think they'll be able to do it. They've got some young, talented receivers out there. Their number 2 guy, who was behind Calvin last year, is pretty solid as well. So they'll find a way to back him off, and the Golden Domers at the end of the day don't play great defense, so I think it'll be a much easier sled than most people think for Georgia Tech.
And Taylor Bennett taking over at quarterback for Reggie Ball, more consistent as well. So having said all of that, does Georgia Tech go into South Bend and get the victory?
Absolutely. It's going to be a low-scoring game. I'm looking at a 14-12 type situation. But, Georgia Tech is going to come away with the win. Let's just make that plain. But I'm going to tell you, looking beyond, I think the Golden Domers are going to be fortunate enough to win 4, possibly 5 games this year. That'll be a max. And it may open a lot of folks' eyes. But if you look at their schedule, perennially it's one of the toughest in America this year because of lack of defense and lack of experience at quarterback. They'll be lucky to win 5 games.
You mentioned that schedule. Certainly no different this year. 4 of the first 6 on the road, and the 2 home games aren't very easy at all. Georgia Tech, one of them, Michigan State, the other. All right, Spencer, thank you very much. We'll get more knowledge from you later in the week.
All right, Jason, thanks, my man.
There you have it, folks, a breakdown of Georgia Tech and Notre Dame. The Yellow Jackets, 17 returning starters, but both teams are breaking in new quarterbacks. Spencer called a low-scoring game. We'll have to see come Saturday. For Spencer Tillman, I'm Jason Horowitz. For more on this game or the rest of College Football Week 1, stay right here on CBSSports.com. Take care.